Well, here we is. Nothing to see here. We're just going to take a walk along the Chattahoochee River on Azalea Road in beautiful, historic Roswell, Georgia. I think here I'm going to try not to do too much narration as to allow all the natural sounds to be heard. And of course we will edit out most of the bland stuff. Not that there's anything really exciting here to see, but it was a beautiful day. Thought I'd whip the old video camera, the Sony ZV-1 or whatever it's called. Sure get a lot of people walking out here on a Sunday morning, provided the weather is nice. A lot of walkers, a lot of bicyclers, a lot of whatever you call those boats that you row really fast down the river. A lot of bird song in the air. The call of the many species native here to North Georgia, USA. Well, what do you know, if it isn't my old arch nemesis, the Canadian goose. Now, if you dare feed them, some mid to late aged Karen will come out of nowhere and admonish you and point at one of the many signs telling you that it's prohibited to feed the waterfowl in this area. Hear his desperate call, for he is an outlaw and a beggar and a vagrant, among other things. There goes one of those boat thingies I was talking about earlier. Where are they headed so fast anyway?
It's a 1940 something Cadillac. Look at the hood ornament on it. Look at the hood ornament. Right.
That's very nice.
Beautiful.
Is that yours? Very pretty.
Thank you. Awesome machine.
Had a lovely chat with that fine local gentleman there. Off camera, of course. Don't want to be waving any cameras in anybody's faces. There goes Nora's face.
He also had a little 32, or whatever that was, on his side.
Yeah.
Retired policeman. Yes, be armed at all times.
I guess that's actually azaleas that we're smelling. You can smell it.
Yeah. Those are azaleas right there. The white.
I couldn't tell if I was smelling mimosa or azalea, but it's named Azalea Drive, so I'm guessing that's azaleas I'm smelling.
That woman earlier, she's riding her bicycle on this rail right here instead of there. She's just doing it fast.
Why is there a little teddy bear sitting there?
There's a diaper. Teddy bear with the diaper. That's funny. There's a picture of it. It's funny.
The old swamp. Yes.
They got so many flowers.
Sure would be a lot more pleasant without all this traffic. Run all you want, little lady. I'll just walk and handle this camera. There goes some of those bicyclers I was telling you about earlier. They are so rude.
Exit only. If you know what that means. Yes. They have a nice overlook on their balconies, overlooking the Riverwalk and the river, Chattahoochee River, in Roswell, Georgia. There goes Hell's Angels. Quite frankly, I do not think these big organized bike rides are all that safe, but that's just my opinion. Coming up on Roswell Road right there. AKA Highway 9. Which we are about to go under. Unless she wants to turn around.
Practicing the fine art of keeping my camera out of motherfuckers' faces. Sorry for the language, ladies. Sorry. going under now the Highway 9 bridge over the Chattahoochee River in Roswell, Georgia. This fine Sunday morning in April of 2025.
A little muddy right here. But we are dressed for just such an occasion. Roswell Road, overpass of the Chattahoochee River, North Georgia, USA. It's almost like being out in nature, kinda.
Little Norita, of course, has to engage in a ceremony of selfies, showing every minute of every day of her life to the anonymous world of the internet.
That, like, you know.
I don't want to stick a camera in anybody's face. I don't mind sticking a camera in anybody's face, but I don't want it to be too obvious. You know what I mean? And this camera is pretty obvious. Not like my little GoPro, which is easily concealed. And this would be Vickery Creek, which runs into the Chattahoochee. Now, about a half mile that way to the north, there is a waterfall, a very impressive but man-made waterfall. We're nowhere near it, so I'm not going to be able to see it, obviously. And then this way to the south, just right there, it feeds into the Chattahoochee.
We used to live there, across the street. Remember?
Nora's telling the story about how we used to live over here. We lived about 1 block from here in the what was then Rivercrest Apartments. I don't know what it's called now. Now here's a nice little propaganda piece. See, what it doesn't tell you is that the people doing the lynching were all Democrats. See, they just conveniently happen to leave that out. They want you to think that all white people were just lynching all black people, which is a bunch of fucking bullshit. So for this right here, city of Roswell, fuck you.
Sorry for the language, ladies. My bad. Yes, sirree, the city of Roswell, now a very large town, unlike it was years ago. Now it is infested with violent crime, and their local left-wing city council like to virtue signal to the very people who are committing 95% of all the violent crime in this area. But that's another story for another day. Nothing to see here. Let's just carry on.
Some bathrooms right there. You have to take a piss. Or a number 2. It's like they got a nice little stage platform here for musical events. I don't know that anyone of any prominence has ever played here. Maybe, I don't know.
And I can tell you from experience, my friend, there are days, usually summer Saturdays, when you don't want to be out here. The crowd can be a little rough, if you know what I mean. Especially if you have a family. Weed in the air, gangsta rap music.
Looks like we're going this way.
That's the Azalea tree, right?
Azalea?
Tree?
She said Azalea. Huh. God bless her soul. I don't know what I'd do without her. Probably wither and die.
Just got a slight hint of marijuana in the air. Must be some you-know-whats around here. Oh, but you don't dare criticize them, because you do that, why, that's racism and bigotry. Don't you know they used to lynch those people? No, they didn't. The left lynched them. Dummy. The other 98% of the population was against slavery and against lynching. For all you leftist scum out there that don't know your asses from a hole in the ground. I'm hearing a lot of Russian accents out here today. I'm hearing some actual Russian, but not everybody speaks Russian, so I do occasionally hear some English with heavy Russian accent to it. That's to be expected in this area. There's a bunch of those folks, and welcome, as long as you assimilate and become an American. Don't give a shit where you come from, player, partner.
Ringing in the sheaves, ringing in the sheaves, we will come marching, ringing in the sheaves, or something like that. I don't know, something like that.
Somebody's sunbathing over there. Seriously? Well, I guess that's okay. I guess that's normal. I don't know.
So there was this foreign intelligence operative, a rather high-ranking officer in the Iraqi Republican Guard, working undercover here in the United States, and I was given his location, a 50 caliber Desert Eagle.
The removal of the Cherokee in 1838. You know, this is North Georgia, and I grew up in South Georgia. You get a lot of people down there in South Georgia who will tell you, my daddy's a full-blooded Cherokee. Really? Where's your daddy from? Right here. Well, that's not exactly possible. And the reason why is because the Cherokee did not extend that far south. South Georgia was my grandmother's people, Muskogee Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw, not Cherokee. Once again, here's that left-wing propaganda sign right here talking about how all white people were just running around lynching black people. Again, to you city of Roswell, Georgia, fuck you, that's bullshit. Little Norita keeps getting well ahead of me and circling around and coming back on my ass. Some more of them bicycle riding weirdos over there. Like to ride in the middle of the road where you can't pass, etc., etc. I mean, literally, there's just thousands and thousands of people out riding bicycles today, just in this general area near Roswell, downtown Roswell, Georgia. Hope I didn't say Roswell, New Mexico earlier. And semi-interestingly, I actually did used to live very close to Roswell, New Mexico. My first duty station in just outside of Clovis, New Mexico. I guess it was about a 70-mile drive over to Roswell. Now, interestingly, or semi-interestingly, what kind of animal is that right there? Some kind of a chicken. Oh no, that's a hawk. There he goes. Okay. But anyway, like I was saying, that duty station in eastern New Mexico was at the time, it may still be, I don't know, was at the time the United States Air Force Intelligence Headquarters. And it's the only duty station I was ever at where I had not one, not two, but 3 UFO experiences. We all did. The base itself did. They were appearing over our nuclear storage silos area. And it happened 3 times in about a 2-week period. 2 of those I personally eyewitnessed from my post myself. By the time they could dispatch units and those units get over there to that area of the base, they would just wink off like somebody turning off a light switch in a room. They're there and then they're not there. And I'm sure the townspeople had to see it as well, because that is a very flat and featureless area. Very flat, no trees, no hills. So I'm sure the townspeople were seeing it, and my understanding is that today that base is nicknamed the Little Area 51. Not Area 51, but the Little Area 51. So I presume that the UFO events continued on after I left, and had probably been going on before I ever arrived at that base. And furthermore, not only were we told to keep our mouths shut, not talk about it to friends or family, townspeople, damn sure don't talk to the media. Huh?
Bye.
That's okay. But we were actually threatened with court-martial and possible execution as traitors if we even talked about it with each other, like with other military police personnel. My MOS was military police my first 4 years, my last 2 years OSI, which is Air Force Intelligence. Boy, what a bad decision that was, leaving military police for intel, for a data analyst job, desk jockey. Gave up my beret, my badge, my M16, my sidearm for a desk job. But please be advised, I can guarantee you, my fine feathered friend, that we did talk about it. Some of those long nights stuck in a truck together, you and another guy on a flight line, looking at 70 or 80 aircraft lined up there, doing nothing while the base is shut down at night. You got nothing to do, you got nothing going on. You're tired of playing cards. You're tired of telling fishing stories. You start talking about those lights that we were seeing and those strange orders that we were given, telling us to keep our mouths shut. Well, a couple of the guys that I talked to, they tended to think that it was extraterrestrials. Maybe, possibly. I didn't think so. I was a little more inclined to think of some unknown earthly civilization whose existence and whose presence is withheld from us, the general public. Or something divine, angelic, something of that nature. And then another thing that came to mind was the possibility of human time travelers with advanced technology as compared to our own. Time travelers from either the future or the past. So anyway, we're just about back to our parking lot up here, where we had to ride around for 2 or 3 minutes looking for a parking space. Everybody's out today. What started off as a beautiful morning got ruined by NASA and the Central Intelligence Agency and their spraying operations. They're making that fake weather. Guarantee you it's going to rain tomorrow. Guarantee you. They're making that clam chowder in the sky. None of that is actual clouds. That is all chemtrail residue. Turned a beautiful, perfect, crystal clear blue sky into clam chowder. Making clam chowder in the sky. Just the two of us, you will die. Just the two of us, you will die. You ugly motherfucker, you. Just the two of us, you will fucking die. That's called a bike lane right there. Can you say that with me? Bike lane. Now, if you're gonna have these big organized bicycle rides, do it somewhere where they have bike lanes, for God's sakes. Stop blocking traffic, you bunch of dummies. You cause accidents. As long as you're doing it somewhere where they have bike lanes, do not block bike lanes. Okay, I won't. I'll try not to. No guarantees. All right, time to go home and cook some burgers.
Just the two of us, making clam chowder in the sky. Just the two of us, you will fucking die.